Hello and welcome. My name is Faye and I'm here from Your Heart's Path. We're going to take a look at the second half of March, as it's taken me a little while to get my shit together and organize this video for you. The beginning of March was so intense. I put the video together for you and I decided to remove it from the platform as periodically, as I am on this journey with you, I went into a little bit of overwhelm and I really needed to process some stuff inside of my personal life to come through as a clear channel for you. I feel very passionate about this. But out the other side of, I want to say, kind of letting go of perfection, I would love to just look at the next 2 weeks, as I do feel like we have got a little bit of movement forward. And there's some really beautiful things coming in, some beautiful things that are almost the opposite to what we felt at the beginning of March. Isn't to take away from what is going on in the planet right now. I can feel that there is still a lot of grief going on, but there is an essence of power coming from this, good, healthy power, strong, heartfelt power. And when we kind of when we go down into the depths of this, let's just call it like the shadow, when we're moving through some of this unconscious patterning, where the way in which this manifests, we have periods where we sort of come to surface. We can see this a little bit more clearly, maybe not even fully logically understanding the why events are playing out around us in the way that we are, but we also get this invitation or this permission slip to not let it completely consume us. And when we have an experience like this, where the things that are going on in the world right now, whether that be natural disasters, wars, etc., my deepest compassion. And at the same time, we have this invitation for responsibility to acknowledge what that triggers in our own personal lives as well. And I know when these things are going on, it can be almost, as the human being, the empath decides that it can be really challenging to continue the road about taking care of ourselves to the journey of self. It can feel selfish, it can feel a little bit overwhelming, and it can sort of throw us off track. When I say off track, out of center, disconnected from the heart. But I feel that we have had this realization of the importance of staying connected to our hearts, the importance of staying grounded, the importance of having compassion. And what we're looking at now is a new lens of community, a new lens of relating, a new understanding and awareness of our strength and our connection with the Creator, with Source, with God, whatever it is that you want to have a look at there, a deepened relationship with Mother Earth, but also that you and your participation in what is unfolding right now starts with you. And we can contribute in positive ways. It's okay to be feeling good and great. And it's also okay to still be going through some of these periods which can be more challenging. A little bit of an overview as to what I want to have a look at today. We're not going to break this apart mentally, emotionally, physically, energetically. We're going to approach 5 different themes, which I feel like we have been and are going to be working with over the next 2 weeks. We are coming to a conscious or a collective ending, which means a brand new beginning. But in the previous past 2 weeks, we've had some really good insight as to where we are in the cycle of the Ouroboros. This has been a really big theme. This symbol of it's like a serpent or a dragon, my understanding, where it wraps around and it's sort of eating its own tail. It's a representation of birth, death, and rebirth. We have had a lot of clarity as to which part of that journey we have been on, and there's been a rewriting throughout each period. If you've been in the birth stage, you are well and truly going to be working with the energies we are speaking of today already, but there'll be some tips to help you fine tune and amplify your vibration throughout the process as well. If you've been going through a bit of a death stage and things have been really intense and really tough, there's going to be some ease coming through. And again, you will be working with the same themes. It may just be in the more beginning stages of, if you're in that period post-death where it's a very interesting period. And it's interesting because it's it's almost like a void space. And in the void, we have a really beautiful invitation to nurture, to rest. We're recalibrating, taking care of the basics, right down to our immune system, to getting the system moving again forward in a momentum where we are going to work with the same themes to really get the vision landed, to really move into a space where we've identified the needs and we're actioning these from just a different, it's the same lens but a different pace. So whatever pace you're at, whatever stage you're at, it's all perfectly okay. We are here to support one another through this journey. And yeah, I feel like as a collective, we can clearly have a look at this now, break it all apart, and look at how we're going to move forward with the energies that are current available to us over the next 2 weeks. My intention is to empower you, bat what doesn't serve you, grab a cup of tea if you don't already have one, and let's get started. The first thing that I want to have a look at is actually, it comes through as the word community. I see the totem animal or the animal spirit behind this is the owl. And then I get the words like conception. Conception is like the initial point of creation of life. And although it hasn't felt necessarily like that, we have this whole new energy of community. This is not just online on your devices like YouTube or on Instagram or Facebook or wherever it is that you're connecting to people. This is your community that is on your back door. This is your neighbors. This is your friends. This is your people you have been working with, working for. It is looking at community depending on what's going on in your immediate environment, but also how you relate to community. Is the community that you're a part of serving your highest good? Do you spend time with people that are supporting you on your journey? And there's been a bit of a cutting away, but we've also had an application, and we will continue to apply by showing up authentically in the community spaces that we are a part of completely. And we can see in these spaces where we've been playing really small, we can see inside of our relationships where our shadow patterns have been playing out, or where our deepest fears have come through in order to almost show us that we're about to break into something new. You know, it's like, it's okay. I identify that I used to feel afraid in this certain situation when the invitation for intimacy arose, and I'm choosing to do it differently because I'm consciously aware of the shadow periods, or let's not even call it shadow, the traumatic experiences potentially that have programmed our body and our being in a particular way, which manifest this particular experience. Okay, I understand, I see it, I feel it, I've moved into it, I've behaved in certain ways that aren't in alignment with my heart's truth anymore, and now I am choosing to do things differently. So how are you relating to community? What does community mean to you? It might mean a rejigging, and a rejigging of your expectations. And ultimately, when we look at this through the lens of heart, when we feel this in our deepest truth, when we can go to the places beyond the previous trauma, beyond these relationships that have blocked our sense of community, that have prevented us from feeling this sense of community, that haven't allowed us to show up fully, then we have a choice right now to go, okay, I identify exactly how this looks for me. I identify what my place inside of the community looks like. I identify where my strengths are and where I have something to contribute. I identify where I am needed and where I love myself enough to show up. So part of this is showing up, but part of this is a rewriting of how we relate to this vibration, this essence, this story of community. What is that to you? Community can be transferred into things like tribe. It's very connected to our base chakra. Our base chakra is our relationship to other. It's our relationship to the world. It's our relationship to source. It's our relationship to creator. It's our relationship to Mother Nature. It's our intimate relationships, our family relationships. It's the system where we all have a place and we all have a purpose in this place, whether on a very small scale or on a very grand scale. The invitation here right now is to accept your invite into the community and show up in your role, simply put. And what we've realized over the last couple of weeks is that no matter what is going on in the world, no matter whether you're going through a traumatic experience, you can still show up in your role. You can. because we've done this enough. I can identify, okay, I'm running a program right now and I'm going to step aside from this program because it's more important that I place this to the side, and I'm consciously going to work with this afternoon, but I need to be able to show up for my friend. I need to be able to show up for my client. I need to be able to show up for this work meeting. I need to be able to help the community clean up. I want to be able to write this blog post in regards to how people can connect into a safe space to be able to offer support. You know, it's like everybody has a role. And when we're in alignment with honoring what it is that the universe has provided as like, this is your genius, here you go, stay in your own lane, please, because this is your purpose. This is what it is that you have to offer. Then we start to get the momentum going. No matter what is going on, we always need this sense of community. And I think in the spiritual world, there can be a tendency, when I say the spiritual world, if through this awakening, there can be tendency for periods of hermit, for isolation, for this retraction, this shutting out the world. It's okay to a certain degree, but I feel like the balance there has been a little bit unhealthier. Let's work with what wasn't possible, you know. So if you are in hermit mode and you just don't feel comfortable to have anybody else in your space because you're going through a thing, then why not open the invitation to invite friendship in where you do feel safe enough to spend time with, where you do decide to exit out and connect with nature instead, where you do sit down and connect with Creator and say your prayers. And it's sort of invitation community. If you're not a part of one, if you can't see one around you or feel one around you that is something that you want to participate in because it doesn't feel like a vibrational match, then there's a possibility of moving right now. Moving states, moving countries, moving houses, moving gyms, moving doctors, moving to different places, because we can feel the scratchiness in the system of what's not resonating. But the invitation is, please put something in this place, because otherwise, consciously, if we don't do this consciously, we bring in something else that is perhaps, you know, of a similar frequency. So consciously, what does this feel like to you? Consciously, what do you have to contribute? Consciously, what are your needs? We're going to move into some of that a little bit later on. We need community in order to stay connected to the earth. Community can be your relationship with animals, with your friends on Instagram, with these people on YouTube, but take it to the next level. Contribute, talk to people, create the friendships that your heart desires, because this is a journey where we want to support each other, where we want to be able to feel safe enough to receive support from others, but also there is so much joy in contribution. And I know for periods of my life when I was feeling really flat, you know, other people said it to me, do something nice for somebody else. Just forget about what's going on here right now. We can get to that bit later, but what is it that you can contribute? And this is a shifting of perception. I wrote something about this very brief the other day. We know what we don't want now, so let's focus on what you do. What is community to you? What is your tribe? What does that mean for you, and what is your place here? So let's take the lens and really have a look at the newness of this, because you do have a place inside of community, no matter what that looks like. If there isn't something around as we were going through, then it's time to create that. If you've got that leader spirit inside of you, it's time to create that. It's time to nurture that. It's time to contribute in that space. It doesn't matter if there are 5 people, 10 people, 500 people, 500,000 people. If you are leading your community, or you are not inside of a community in which feels good for you, then it's time to create a new one. Base chakra energy. We've had a big uproaring of home, of safety, of this connection, of losing our power based on our connection to other. So practicing calling yourself back to yourself from the memories that arose, from the past experiences that arose, from the what you don't want. All of these are little timelines, little realities. So call yourself back in. Feel your base connected to the earth. It's very interesting. It's interesting because we are creating something new. And there are other people looking for the same thing that you are. So place your intent. The owl comes in here because the owl to me represents clairvoyance. It's vision. It's an invitation to see energy. Can you see the energetics of your community? Can you see where you can contribute to the energetics of your community in a positive way by using your voice, by creating something new, conception? Share your ideas. Write an ideas list. Get the stuff that's been hovering in your mind about what you don't want out of there and start writing down and focusing on what you do. Focus on what you do want. And the little action steps are there. We've had a lot of Kundalini energy coming in the last 48 hours. Kundalini energy can be quite ecstatic. It's quite beautiful. It's quite fun, but it can also be really intense if we're not connected into the earth. Grounding is a word that's thrown around here, there, and everywhere. So breathe with her. I'd love to invite you to describe to yourself outside of this space what it means to be grounded for you. Because sometimes when things are really high and we're pushed up into this place to exist inside of the mind, it's not always enough to just go and put your feet down on the earth if we don't have the concept of what it is that we're actually grounding in. So invitation to build your relationship with your spirit. Invitation to get to know your guides a little bit better. Beautiful. Second theme, we're going to have a look at vision. Vision relates to the bigger picture. Yes, the apex picture. We birth into this towards the end of March. I'd say could even sort of feel this in the next week or so. The big energy shift as we have a Kundalini burst, as we've pushed out, purged out, cracked out, flooded out density to some degree. We've had the triggers responded. We're getting the support right now that we need to kind of come back into balance, come back into unity, come back into power, come back into strength. This creation energy with community and your bigger vision is really important that you stay connected to that right now. Stay connected to that by bringing in practice. Simplify your practice. This is not a chore. Oh, I've got dry skin. It's not a chore. I shared something today around applying color to your visualization, your bigger vision. Add 3 emotions and feelings that you want to bring into your bigger vision. So my bigger vision, even if I can't see it yet, right at the point of this tip of the apex, I know that I want to work with the vibration of creativity, harmony, and what's another example, please? Honor. They're 3 things that I want to work with. The color that represents these is bright yellow. Not necessarily related to the solar plexus chakra, maybe it is. These are the things I'm working with. So I'm going to apply this color into my life. I'm going to work with this color, this vibration. And I'm going to let the universe do the rest of it. I'm going to trust the universe to work with me. You could do this by wearing the yellow clothing. You can do this by bathing in yellow light. You can do this by playing music that feels like the color yellow. Yeah. So we can work with these tools of vision all the time. Having enough awareness consciously to feel yourself when you're slipping, it's okay. It's not about beating yourself up. It's just about grabbing yourself in that moment and refocusing, reshuffle, reapplying the vision. Every time we do that, we weaken what has had us by the balls, so to speak, and we give courage, we give faith to the heart. The universe can flow that energy in then more easily. Applying symbols, applying the basic nature of animal medicine. Who is the animal that represents the essence of what it is that you're working towards, the vision? Can you call that animal in and work with its energy? Can you ask for support? Vision, 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 think bigger. Because there is so much compassion that's about to pour into this earth. With this purging, we have an upgrade. So get ready for downloads. Get ready for this feeling of like, whoa, I feel like I'm taking off. We need to stay in the body, connected to the vision, utilizing basic skills, basic tools of alchemy in order to stay connected to the vision, connected to the heart, so as that we can catch this wave. Yeah. When we come back to that place, some of these little reminders, this affirmation, I am a soul in a physical form, I am spirit in a physical body. Remind yourself of who you are. I am the creator of my reality. What I'm experiencing right now, I'm responsible for. If I don't like it, I'm choosing to change it in this moment, not in 2 weeks' time. And this is not always about feeling happy and ecstatic all the time. We have to be really mindful with our expectation of our vision and our reality. It's okay to bust this right up here to, okay, I want to experience happiness for a chunk of my day, but it's unrealistic to expect that you're going to feel that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week when we are moving through this human experiences as well. So perhaps it's more compassion for how you are feeling and integrating an emotional release practice. You know? Vision, vision, vision. Mood boards aren't dead. My guide's been whispering this to me for weeks. Mood boards, vision boards. Vision boards aren't dead. Put into your physical environment that which you want to see come about. I've had some amazing experiences with vision boards, and I'm in the process now, coming up against resistance in this process too, but it's really interesting. What am I going to apply on there? I'm getting really, really clear about what it is that I'm here to contribute, what it is that I'm here to create from every angle of my existence, mentally, emotionally, physically, energetically, with my home, my relationships, with my work, with my health. Specific, specific, specific. But you don't have to draw pages and pages and pages and pages and pages. Let's be smart about it. I want more abundance in my life. Okay, the abundance is represented to me as the color gold, and it's the symbol of the triangle. So I'm going to draw that on my vision board. I'm going to apply that into my life. When I start to feel stressed about money or finances, I'm going to focus on this. I'm going to intentfully draw that on my drink bottle so that I'm sipping it into my system. This is how fun vision can be. Anything else there, please? Protecting your vision. One little element here. I want to have a look. I want to go into protection. We can do that on another day. Protecting your vision is an interesting terminology because it brings awareness to where our external environment can throw us off course from our vision, and we know when that happens. Cataclysmic events in the world can throw us off our vision. Cataclysmic events can throw us to a space where we don't deserve our vision, where I don't deserve to be joyful and happy and generous right now. So mindful where our vision is connected to patterns of fear. If we can transmute the fear to a higher vibration, maybe it's not even love, but it's just clarity or just compassion or just empathy or understanding or trust, then we're not manifesting from a place of fear or lack of. We're harnessing and creating from the heart center. And this is where shit starts to get really fun. So if protecting your vision means mindful of who you share it with, does protecting your vision mean that you're taking better care of your physical body in order to harness the vibration? Does protecting your vision mean that you're not interested in the opinions of others and how they have doubted you, or it's not a good idea, or this, because their programming is interfering with your matrix? Where are you not showing up like as yourself? You know, it's all okay. There's no judgment here. But it's really time to get real. It's really time to get real with what we're not doing to our best ability, shifting this and transforming it, all the while keeping this sacred vision, even though it can be applied super simple, as something that we keep as sacred. We need this connection, this sacred connection, this honor to self, honor to other, honor to life. I want to bring that word in honor, and I would love to invite you to maybe meditate on honor, maybe write a journal entry. What is it that you honor in your life? What is it that you honor about yourself? What is it that you honor about your gift? Honor allows for this heart expansion. I feel it in my body. It's like, oh, all of a sudden I'm just connected to this entire universe of possibility. And it feels beautiful. It's not honor, I'm better than. It's honor as in like sacred. It's really, really sacred. It's this appreciation. It's this expansion energy that allows for symbiosis of heart waves, you know, this relationship with life, gratitude for where you are right now, even if it's not in the most beautiful, peaceful, blissful state. That it's actually okay, and that we are here mending this layer by layer, all in our unique roles, all a part of the community doing our bit. It's pretty beautiful. What we've also moved into, and I'm going to bring in the third theme, is needs. This is something I addressed in my personal life over the last couple of weeks. What are my needs? Not just needs, general living, home, food, exercise, basic stuff. What are my needs inside of my intimate relationships? How can I communicate them to my partner? How can I communicate them to my friends? How can I communicate them to my family in a healthy way? What is it that I need in my career in order to feel fulfilled? What is it I need in order to feel courage or bravery enough to offer this event that I've wanted to do? Needs. I need this in order to be able to do this. I need some more energy, vitality. Okay, so where does this stem from? It stems from my physical body. Okay, I need to amp up the exercise routine. You see how we can sort of map this? But if we can get simple about our basic needs, from identifying what we needed when we didn't have it over the last 2 weeks, we can then move into a space where we start to apply this. I need structure. I need routine. I need more support. I need to eat more regularly. I need to cut down on caffeine. Okay, now action it, please. This is the responsibility. It's like the great steward, you know. It's all well and good getting this information, but now let's respond. Now let's respond to the higher calling that has been coming through, that showed you what it is that you don't have in those moments of overwhelm, or what you didn't have when you were a little kid. I want to say that this brings in the inner child in some way. I feel like we've been journeying the theme of the inner child. If you haven't had a relationship with your inner child over the last couple of weeks, please do sit down and have a conversation with him or her. What is it you need, honey? Do you have everything you need? If everything's all good there, then we come back to this moment here. You can ask different parts of your body and your being. Ask your heart. A beautiful question in the morning when we wake up is like, what is it that I need today to support my soul's divine evolution? And what is it that I can contribute to other? What are the needs of others around me, and how can I better respond to this? Our needs show us or stem from what we want, what we desire. When we know what we want, when we know what we desire based on these previous themes that we've had a look at, okay, now what is it that I need to make this vision a reality? What is it I need from you? What is it that I need from me? What do they need from me? And what is it that, you know? And underneath all of this, there's a need for you to be you. So looking and checking in with the self, where we stretched outside of the vision, where did we step outside of ourselves? Why did we do that? Curiosity, right? This is what helps us map the path and recreate each little segment at a time. You're doing really well. I do feel like saying that because my word, like, whoo, it's been big. And no matter where you are in that cycle, birth, death, rebirth, you're still going to have needs. And our needs changes, our vibration changes. As our vibration changes, we go into different aspects of ourselves. We bring in more of our higher self in, right? So when the higher self comes in, it shifts and changes our body and our being into a new sense of reality, then our needs may change. 6 months ago, there were things I needed that I don't really need now. This can be to do with seasons. It can be to do with our home environment. It can be to do with our cycles of our partners or our family. Needs show us our boundaries. Boundaries allow for us to step more into our power, more into our truth, more into our center. And eventually, it's just second nature. Those things don't come into your environment anymore. So layer by layer by layer, we move into this. We're going to have more of this Kundalini energy, earth from mother, earth from stars coming in too to support us. I feel like we're kind of almost there over the next, I'd almost anticipate over the next 4 to 5 days, we're going to have this proper connection. So it feels like it's been sort of sethered, like ideas coming in and energy from here, and then fuck, it's really intense and it stops. And then vice versa, feeling her, feeling the energy come up the spine. So we're going to have this connection where it sits back in the heart. This is going to be amplified. So this is where we get an opportunity to respond to our needs in a loving way. We move heart forward. We're not responding or acting or moving or creating from a base of fear. We're doing this from love, which bridges into the next theme that I want to have a look at, and that is the creator, God, source, whatever it is, the universe, this power that we speak about across religion, throughout the spiritual community, pure creation energy, above our higher self, right? Above our monad, like the God self, if you want to call it that. Pure creation energy that we connect to and manifest from. What is your relationship to that energy when things haven't been going so great, or when things are going really great? It feels like we're bringing a little bit of authenticity into this. I had some windows where I've felt like I need more faith. And it's okay. But it means that my relationship to the universe inside of me, the universe outside of me, the universe, God, that's a word that I even struggled to be able to say out aloud for a really long time. And I'm okay with it just about now. It's just loaded, and we've got to be mindful with those words. So whatever resonates with you, that's what I truly mean. Is it source? Is it creator? Is your relationship to the creator authentic? Is the question I have for you today. Because there's an invitation to come into deeper faith and deeper trust. That all the work that you are doing every day comes to these little apexes where even when we do step into that greater vision, sometimes it's happened already and we don't even know. And then again, we have like a little bit of an up leveling. We're always going to be doing this, creating, experiencing along the way. This evolution, this growth. So what is your relationship to source in all of that? Do you manifest and create something and then doubt your vision to the point where you chip it away and it doesn't exist anymore? Or are you taking this relationship, I almost want to say it's your relationship to the creator, is there a false sense of connection there? And there's an invitation, if there is, to really, really trust, to really, really have faith. Not based on everything you've already experienced, but based on the response from the universe when you consciously are creating from a space of love. Because what is not aligned for you will not manifest. I really do truly believe that. Especially if you've created from pure love and pure source, because source has your highest soul's divine evolution at play as well. It doesn't mean that we don't experience grief or hardship or trauma, but it does mean that we have the support to be able to work with these energies as they're happening. We're not here to avoid the shit. We're here to move through it. So it's through this process, no matter what's going on for you, whether you're having a great fucking day or whether you're having a day where you feel like you can hardly even get out of bed, ask yourself, what is my relationship to source right now? What would that voice say to me? The higher voice, the higher mind, the enlightened heart. It overrides all the other stuff. Faith allows us to be safe in our body no matter where we are. It gives us the courage to ask for support and help if we need it. It keeps us connected and grounded, that everything is unfolding exactly as it's meant to be. Doesn't mean we don't need to do the work. And it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong or you're being punished if things aren't working out how you thought they were going to. Because what we wish for, if especially is of a higher vibrational nature, say you want $100,000 in your bank account versus $40,000 every year, then you've got to shift your vibration to get here, which means that why wasn't it happening in the first place? I got to move through some stuff. I got to go through some shit and rewrite my programming, my patterning, and my previous trauma to meet this vision. So where are you judging your experience or blaming source or blaming the universe for the unfolding of your current vibration? And be grateful, compassion, gratitude for exactly where you are. Look at all the things you've learned. Look at how far you've come. And moving forward, this relationship or this opportunity to have a deeper relationship with source, with God, with the creator, with your higher self, with your guides, with energy, this unseen, delicious energy that is here to support you and help you, is working for you, when do you get to a point where you don't doubt that at all? What does that look like? What does that feel like? How would you behave? It's exciting. Alongside of this, opposing that, the relationship to Mother Earth has increased in the last couple of weeks. I've noticed this in a massive way. I feel like animals are speaking, plants are speaking more. There are herbs coming up in my visualization and meditation. I'm breathing with Mother Earth and she is speaking loudly, and there's been some kind of a shift, whether that be just in her grids, her matrix underneath, that's allowed for communication to open up in a clearer way. And what this means is that the time you spend in nature is going to feel deeper. It's like the need or the desire for that is going to get stronger if it really is needed by you. The ocean will call you if it's, if it's going to complement your existence on that day. And we must respond to this. It's the deeper our connection with Mother Nature, the deeper our connection with our bodies and our beings. It allows us to step into that and understand femininity in a whole new way. And some of that is dark and it's full on, and we've seen what happens in the world through natural disaster and these other pieces. We don't have control over that. What we do have control over is how we respond. What we do have control in is the observation of, where did I lose balance in this space? Where can I come back to center, back to love? That's the energy that fills you up. And there are parts of Mother Nature that are really, really ugly. And there are parts of her that are so beautiful. This planet is so beautiful. I watched a movie last night that was I can't remember what it was called, but it was all deserty and it was an off-earth planet. And I kind of felt this sensation of feeling like, gosh, where we live is so beautiful. She is breathing us, like we are breathing her. This relationship, we are keeping each other alive. So there's a responsibility for sustainability, where we can make those minor changes inside of our life as well. She's going to tell you, you're going to feel guilty if you put the thing that's meant to go in the recycling bin in the rubbish. And then you might think, you know what, I'm not going to buy jarred garlic next time. I'm going to grow it and I'm going to pluck it out of my garden instead, because that's one thing I think I can do. All these little minor changes that we make contribute. Everything has a vibrational track. Do we go to Kmart and buy the $5 t-shirts knowing where they come from and what their vibration is? Or do we spend a little bit more money on something more ethical, of a material that is more sustainably produced, created? Was everybody that touched that piece of fabric paid well? All this stuff has a vibration. And so what's our imprint on Mother Earth? What is her relationship like with you? Something to do here, which I've been loving. Sounds so odd, but let's just go there. I imagine I have like a mouth on the bottom of my feet if I'm standing on the earth, and if I'm sitting like in meditation, or I just want to sit on the grass or on the ground, I imagine I have like a mouth on the bottom of my butt, I guess. The bottom of my base, because it's energetic, it's not my physical butt. But with this, I imagine these mouths, like they open. We have chakras on the bottoms of our feet. We've spoken about that before. So the mouths open, and then I'm like, I breathe her in, and I exhale into it. Breathe her in, exhale into it. And all of a sudden, there's like this invitation. I can feel her like rise and fall. And it's like that sensation when you lay your head down on somebody's chest that you love, or, your mum's belly when you're a little kid, and you feel that warmth, that nourishment. It's like all of a sudden you feel the entirety of her, and that she is holding us, and that all the beings on this planet are connected to her in a much deeper way than the human beings are. And this stems right to the way that the birds communicate with each other as one collective mind as they all change direction. But there is a deeper invitation to connect with Mother Earth in a whole new way. And it's really profound. It's really beautiful. You can feel her support. We can also feel her rage right now. That fire, that watery energy that's been happening. And it's hard to look at that through a lens of love and understanding and compassion when our relationship with her has been warped. It's sort of been like, what can we take from her? What can we give back? What can we give back to her? That showed up as the spirit animal to do with that was actually the snake, which I find interesting. Snake has lots of different things, it's transformative, it sheds its skin, it's that kundalini energy. So let's keep it there. It sort of represents that here. You can meditate that on your own, in your own time, if you like. There's been a bit of a theme around snakes over the last 24 months. I've noticed people tattoos, pictures, images, they're being utilized symbolically in our collective more than I have ever seen them be used before. I feel like I want to stop. My throat's doing funny things. But anyway, and again, it kind of relates to the Ouroboros that we spoke about in the beginning. So knowing which part of the cycle or transformative piece that you're in, whether that be birth, death, rebirth, knowing that's all okay. And you can always have a relationship to Mother Earth, to the Creator, to Source in that space. Authentic relationships with that high power, with the universe inside of you. It's awesome. This is really good. And this stuff's going to get stronger and stronger and stronger because it needs to. We need to hear her. We need to be able to accept this energy that's here to support us, our cosmic energy, this expansion. Yeah. All right, moving into the fifth and last theme, which is around new beginnings, which I love. The way that this came through clairvoyantly, they're just bringing it back in now so I can describe it, which I love, is like this feeling of, let's just say it how it is. So it's like the plate that the old house has been demolished. And when I see the old house being demolished, it was kind of like moldy. It could have felt wet. It could have felt like there were toxins inside of the house, whether this be a representation of the things you've been experiencing, relationships, work, your own relationship to yourself. It's sort of like there's been almost like a complete knockout. And when I say knockout, it's like there was an invitation to go really, 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 really deep over the last, let's just say 6 weeks, even longer, because we had all those retrograde periods. We've identified now what's not staying inside of the matrix. So let the house be a representation of your body, your being, your matrix, where life is going for you. And it feels like some people entirely have had their complete houses knocked out of the way. When I say knocked out, we then have this vision coming with like the soil. The foundations have been laid for the house to be built. But before this, we want to actually assess whether we want to stay in the same position that we were in or whether we would like to go somewhere else, metaphorically speaking. But I do feel like this manifests as like moving house, moving home. I said this before, states, countries, taking the leap to move in with your partner. I don't know. It just feels like there's movement there. And I feel like housing's changing. Maybe you're buying a house, home-based chakra stuff, right? We've purged this. And some people will be moving. Some people around you will be moving to a more suitable vibration, to a space that is more in alignment with you and your soul's evolution. If you are staying in the same place and the foundations are laid, now this kind of reflects back to like the vision. Okay, well, what do we want? The structure. Who do we want to come in and assist us with putting the structure of the house together? Are we going to go up, up, up? So do we need to put this, is that scaffolding it's called, isn't it? Do we need scaffolding in order to have this established? Who comes in and does the electrical? So how am I taking care of my mind moving forward with this greater vision? Do I need to amplify my practice or become more disciplined with my practice? The electricals come in, and then we have all the plumbing, the underneath work. I don't know what order this all happens in because I'm not a builder, but as the vision sort of comes to life, we want the undercurrent stuff. So the water, the emotional body taken care of in this space as well. But it allows for things to kind of continually flow. It's like setting up structure, setting up foundation. So is that when the house is all done, that everything kind of it moves. We know that it's happening when we flick on the light. We know that it's connected to the electricity because it's all set up correctly, but we don't think about that every time we flick the light on. It just becomes common nature. So it's like getting all of the underground stuff in place. What I see now is like we've got the slab. So now we want to kind of work out how we get all of this and what that all looks like for you. Think big. What does the garden look like? Let's bring in Mother Earth. How am I going to nurture this space? Nice balance between masculine and femininity coming in, and a healthier understanding of some of that, because I think some of that's been quite warped in our collective. I'm still in a relationship with discovery between that, where I'm stepping into my masculine I don't want to be, because it's more in alignment for me to be in my feminine. I need to stop at the end of the day and rest back. As the house goes up, we then get to deck the house out, right? So it's sort of like But doing this feels like simplicity. It doesn't feel like a time to be accumulating stuff. It's like, what's the minimal that I need so that my energy flows? What's the minimal, but it's precise? So if you're hoarding, you've got cupboards full of shit, sheds full of shit, stuff that you've got in your closet that you haven't worn for 6 years, but you just might one day. No. Get rid of it. Give it to somebody else. Ask your community if somebody needs it. Put it on for sale. There's lots of websites we can do that stuff with. Donate it. The less stuff we have and the less accumulation of this stuff we have, baggage, the lighter we actually feel inside of our environment. I've got cupboards I can clean out, and hearing this now, I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it. Another tip load. We have a really beautiful, 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 beautiful opportunity coming into April. You know your strength now. You feel it from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. When we get these things in order, relationship to community, harnessing our vision, working with it continuously in simple ways. You can see my Instagram to see some of the stuff I'll be posting there over the next week around this. Our needs, refining our needs, communicating our needs to other and those who we're working with intimately or professionally. Our relationship to source, our relationship to Mother Earth births us out of the birth canal, you know. And the momentum may have been there if you've been in the birth cycle, but we also need what's going on behind us to kind of catch up, because we are moving through this together. We really are. Downloads are going to be coming in. The furniture is going to be landing inside of your house. Be selective about what you choose to keep and what's not yours. We do download for other people. So ideas list, I know I brought that up before, but respond to it. Write these ideas down. We want to ground this stuff into the physical matrix, the physical reality. Remind yourself daily you are creating what it is that you are experiencing right now. If you don't like your reality, get help. Ask for support. Do a trade. Swap something. There's some really cool shit coming in because we are doing it, people. My friends, it's like I'm starting to see evidence of this. I can feel it energetically. The ascension symptoms have been very, 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 very strong, and they're only going to get stronger because we've had big solar storms. But no matter what's going on, we can still stay here. We can. And this is actually the invitation. So I hope the rest of March is a powerful one for you, that you really feel your relationship to what it is that you're creating in your life, that brings all sorts of experiences through to you to make it clearer what it is that you need, where it is you can show up in your community, to be you. This is my wish for you, is to be you. I see all of us like pieces of puzzle. It sounds really dry, and it's much more beautiful than that. But clairvoyantly, you know, every single person in this world is a piece of the grand picture, the bigger puzzle piece. And step by step, we're all kind of fitting in and slotting in together. And so when we are ourselves, you can imagine it's like, okay, everybody's doing their role and their thing and on their soul's path and on purpose, connected to this, on their way. You know, it's like slowly it all comes together. Maybe we don't finish the complete puzzle piece in our lifetime, but we're certainly here contributing. So I send you so much love and so much compassion to you as well. Intuition is high, sensitivity is high. So, you know, those basic things that we've looked at previously, your practice is really important. Ritual is really important. Connection to other is really important. Contribution is really important. So it's time to show up for yourself and for other. And in subtle, gentle ways too, yeah? I love you. I adore you. I will see you at the beginning of April. I'm having a cleansing, clearing on Wednesday myself, so it's going to be really nice to wash away all these experiences. Wash away, but integrate, learn too. And I'm excited for the new bits to drop in. And yeah, it's been a challenging time, but also I see the light, and there is always light at the end of the tunnel, and we're on our way to that. So I hope there's evidence of that showing up in your life. If you need any extra support, all the details will be down the bottom of this video. I'm offering readings, intuitive development, other workshops and stuff are going on as well. So you can find me on my website or Instagram as my main platform of contact and communication. I love you so very much, and thanks for tuning in. Bye.